Lo, there do I see my father. Lo, there do I see my mother.
And my sisters and my brothers. Lo, there do I see the line of my people. Back to the beginning.
Lo, they do call to me. They bid me take my place among them.
In the halls of Valhalla, where the brave may live forever.
These are the voyages of the starship Ragnar. Her mission to explore the Shackleton expanse for new friends and allies, and to fearlessly peer into that final frontier.
Oh,
all right, and welcome everyone to Season 3, Episode 2 of Star Trek Valhalla, a Star Trek Adventures actual play run by myself and 5 super awesome people that I have the blessing, I would say, the blessing of being able to call my friends. They're really cool folks, and one of them is my favorite. And I bet you everyone can guess which one, because he's the best server mod around. Oh, I gave it away. There it is. There it is, Brian. You're the good man. Yeah, if I had to pick a favorite, it'd be you. There it is. Drew's a close second. Symbol's a close second. Sidereal Day gets the I've known you longest. And Charles, you're just a fucking great guy. I don't know what else to say. You're just a fucking great guy. Like,
I think I am.
You go beyond. You go beyond the ranking system just because you're just a great guy. Yeah, great guy. Great guy. Yeah, great guy. There it is. Beautiful. But as is tradition, we're gonna go around the table. We're gonna have everyone introduce themselves, tell us who they're playing, and then we're gonna have our first official opening log by none other than Commander Ajay. So let's go, Brian, Symbol, Sidereal Day, Drubaka, and Charles Warren. Take it away, my friends.
Hello, I am Brian, also or known as Mind Over Brian on both Twitter and on Twitch, although on Twitch I spell it with a 0. And I'm playing Captain Asbatreso, the Betazoid captain of the USS Ragnar. But I have forsworn my telepathic gifts.
I am Symbol24. You can find me on Twitch under the same name. I stream from time to time. This is Nefertiti. She is the ultimate kitty. Yes, I said it. She's the best one. I play Lieutenant Alden Paris, the science officer aboard the Ragnar. And why are we here? What are we doing? And why is it my fault?
I will raise you 1 Nefertiti and see you with a Luna.
That is the job of a science officer, to answer all those questions.
No, trump card fella.
Ooh.
Nope, Nefertiti.
All 4 of mine have abandoned me. I unfortunately don't have any cute cats to pull on stream. This is a problem. Hi, I'm Sidereal Day. I play Commander Ajay Shahira, the Bajoran First Officer and Chief Medical Officer.
Baka.
Oh my god, it's me.
Oh
Hi, I'm Drew. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Krev, the Tellarite Chief Engineer.
Hello, I'm Charles. I'm playing Ensign Zed, our Ferengi Chief of Security, who may soon be a space vampire instead of a Ferengi.
You know what? Here's my question. And I know I'm the game master, so I should have these answers, but I want to go out to the group here really quick. What's the difference between a space vampire and a regular vampire? Is it just that they're in space?
A space vampire is cooler.
Yeah, it is cooler. I mean,
because you're adding space to the front
above
of
and beyond that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously it's cooler because it's a space vampire, of course.
Maybe they can turn into things other than bats and fog. Maybe they can turn into something that can travel through the vacuum of space.
Like a space bat.
A space bat?
Yeah.
They see they really have to, because they're space vampires, they really have to be careful about going out into nature.
Symbol, we had the same. That was so good, man. Space bat. But we are going to open our first scene. We're going to open our first scene with a exterior shot of the Ragnar, as it is an orbit of what looks to be a very, very sick planet. There are splotches of green here and there on the planet, but the majority of it appears to have become a kind of barren-like wasteland. There is a massive storm in the southwestern hemisphere of where the Ragnar finds itself in orbit, And that storm is, based on its location, is right above the capital city of this planet of Vinar, which appears to be, well, completely encompassed by the storm. But we're going to pick up with a voiceover by none other than a particular Commander Ajay. So, Commander Ajay, if you'd like to begin with your opening log, take it away.
Personal log, Stardate 43199.4. The spread of this vampire disease through the crew has accelerated. At last count, we have almost 36 crew sequestered in several rooms, all of which are flooded with fresh sedative gas at hourly intervals. Myself and several nurses have been kept busy synthesizing new versions as the disease seems to gift some level of resistance as it progresses. I fear that if we do not reverse it soon, never mind Dr. Van Helsing's predictions of having to put all of our crew down, we'll be unable to keep them all safely contained. Should they break free, I suspect all of us will become infected in short order, leading to perhaps catastrophic consequences. I remain not unconvinced of Dr. Van Helsing's conclusions, but wary of placing all of our trust in a being we have only just met, and one as eccentric as this. While he claims to be a doctor specializing in all these different areas, the sciences, engineering, medicine, literature, and so on, I have my doubts. Any one of those disciplines requires a lifetime of study. While it is possible this Frankenstein of his assists him with his education and recall, his assumption that such gives him the right to demand access to any and all of my patients and my work strikes me as arrogance of the highest order. The sheer gall to speak to a person you have never met and demand they make way for your control of their patients with no substantive evidence you have any experience in medicine. The man is undoubtedly skilled. Or at least his Frankenstein is full of information. Lieutenant Commander Krebs' praises of his adjustments to our engines tell me that much. And he has not been wrong about this disease's progression. That does not make his company any more welcoming, especially not with how eager he is to demonstrate the proper staking technique. Vinar looms before us. It has changed so much in such a short time. The jungles are gone. There's a storm taking up so much of the planet. If this now barren wasteland is what this odd virus does to plant and animal life, I fear what it can do to a sentient being. It seems to affect the mind as much as the body, ripping away parts of a person's self to make room for its insatiable hunger. That, to me, is the worst part of this. Watching Lieutenant Tapar lose her vaunted self-control and act without thought, Ms. Nevik's descent into paranoia on the bridge, Ensign Loktal's self-inflicted injuries. I am no stranger to psychological and pathological conditions, but this one is much more insidious than most I've encountered. It does not simply make space for itself. It seems to consume what was there before, cannibalizing neural pathways in order to slip in new desires, fears, drives. Even if we are able to halt the illness's spread, can we truly undo the damage done? I've tried to be more practical in my official logs, keeping my fears to myself for now. They're speculative and not yet substantiated. But now, looking down at Vinar, I can only hope we are in time.
Look, there it is. All right, I said it for you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Sorry.
So, no, you just don't be sorry. I just thought it was kind of funny. That was fantastic, Sidereal Day. I want to go ahead and give the crew 2 momentum for that beautiful opening log. So we see the exterior shot of the Ragnar, and we heard the voiceover, as it were. I'd like to pick up actually first and foremost in main engineering with our good chief engineer. And his not necessarily second in command, but his little friend there, as it were. And he is not the good doctor. Doctor's not there, but we have Andrea Bronson is there with you.
My protege.
Yeah, your protege, I like that. The protege, and she is looking at the readings of the warp core, which is outputting at roughly 125%. But normally, if you were to push the warp core to that point, it would really risk breaching or going crazy, as it were. But in this moment, it is humming, purring like a kitten. The tone of the warp core is a little bit more high-pitched than normal. It normally has that. It's kind of a little bit quicker with the kind of pulses, the tempo of that sound. But it appears to be in perfect functionality. Andrea looks over to you, Lieutenant Commander Karev, and Lieutenant Commander Karev, I'm struggling to understand how this. By all accounts, the warp core should be breaching in this moment, and yet it is. I've never seen anything quite like this. The conductivity of this rock-like crystallization, it doesn't seem to be. And she just starts to kind of ramble. She can't even come up with words to describe what she is witnessing in this moment.
I'm not gonna lie, Bronson. I'm with you. I understand what this is doing by the skin of my teeth, and I don't think I could even explain it to myself.
Lieutenant Commander, yes?
Just keep on the readings. That's your one job right now, is to make sure nothing happens, and if anything changes, you're on it. Bypass everything that he's put in and set things to right. I put in that bypass just for that, and that's your one task, PO.
Looks at her console, focuses in on it, and then looks back to you. Lieutenant Commander, may I speak freely, sir?
Always.
Nods her head. She always asks, even though you pretty much have the standing speak your mind kind of thing with her. Lieutenant Commander Rev, do you think this material is even from our galaxy? Look, I don't...
It's from our universe. We had Paris check it.
At the mention of Paris, he probably comes out of the same Jeffries tube he was installed.
I love that. I'd love to have you just jump into the scene. That is perfect. Yeah, you pop out of a Jeffries tube. Go ahead.
You did check the quantum signature, right? Lieutenant?
It's I don't know what it is. Like, you know how we like to think that time is the next frontier? I don't think it is. Because this math doesn't add up.
I mean, it does, but you have to think like ninth dimensionally.
No, but
ninth dimensionally folded into fourth dimensionally.
Like, math is my thing. This is what I do. Even if you go to ninth and fold and reverse and upside down and twist it around and give it a good shaky shake, nothing adds up.
Johnson just blurts out the word Tesseract? I'm sorry,
well,
I just wanted to be involved. And she goes back to her console.
Love the idea, but still won't work.
Well, I mean, it's like I discussed with the doctor. Once you amplify the emergency neutrino distortion damper, everything takes care of itself.
I guess.
I mean, honestly, how can multidimensional math even work in this dimension? Like, eventually
But we can
Once-
still theorize it. We can still think
once
about
it once
But
it jumps through enough, once the numbers jump through enough hoops, there's no telling what they're gonna do.
it's like
Oh, I'm not saying I trust it.
that's fine. I think I don't know how to put it, but I think it's generating energy from a place that we don't want to think about. That is the best way I can explain it.
Bronson begs the question. What do you mean a place we don't want to think about?
A long time ago, one of my uncle said to me that sometimes when you look into the darkness looks back. You don't want to look there. So we have normal mechanisms in our brain as sentient beings that make us not want to look there. And I'm thinking,
are you getting superstitious on us, Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Paris, we, as Starfleet, we have a pretty good grasp of dark matter. We do understand it's everything. I don't understand what you mean by looking into, and she actually starts to get a little, like, not huffy, but a little bit like, what are you even talking about? Like, she gets a little, like,
don't forget, Bronson, don't forget, I'm the guy that invented a cloaking device that can reverse time. Just saying. So
that's fair, sir. Sorry, sir.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that maybe the math for this is something we're not ready to think about. The best way I can put it, because try as I might, I can't get the answer. And I don't like when I don't get the answer.
Krev leans over to Bronson. He's just mad that he doesn't get it, and I do.
She gives you a little smile, and his symbol loses it. I think that's a great moment to pivot away from this scene briefly, over to the medical bay, where you have two junior officers, lieutenant junior grade Tapar, and you have the good Nevik there as well. They are currently in stasis, and while they are not able to move, they're unconscious, etc. You can see that they are slowly changing. Ears becoming a little bit more elongated, canines becoming a little bit more elongated, their face starting to look a little bit more angular. It's a very slow, subtle change. But I'd like to pick up with the good Nurse Hagen and the good doctor in the medical bay, and the other good doctor is also there as well. However, he is now dressed slightly differently, and I need you to use just a little bit of imagination on this one. He's got a large, very wide brimmed hat, very very brimmed. It's a little thing. It kind of looks like the sorting hat on. He has a bandolier of like these kind of crystal rock like stakes on him, right? And he's got a bunch of these little like vials and things on him. And there's also a like you go to the store and you buy garlic. He's got like a little bag of garlic hanging from the bandolier as well. And he's like busily like booping away at a computer there. He's been helping Commander Ajay to help to slow the spread of this disease, but he's busy to himself right now. And I'd like to just pick up with the nurse and the good doctor together up over yonder. And
question.
Ensign Zed, yes.
I believe last time Zed was emergency medical transported to the sick bay.
Yes, he was.
Is Zed there? Or
we're gonna get to that, Zed. You just hold your horses, good sir. We're gonna get to you.
Sounds good.
Right? Just hold your horses. All right. You're on the screen. You're just not the focus of the camera right now, Mister. I know you got a friend watching. I need you to wait your turn. All right. Just need you to wait your turn. There it is. I love it. You're fucking awesome. All right. So we're gonna pick up, and Nurse Hagen, it's a tricorder, is doing some readings. Doctor, it seems that they are both stable, but the transformation, the condition, it's slowed, but it hasn't fully stopped. I think if we don't figure out a way to find some sort of cure or antidote, we're going to lose both of them.
They're far from the only two we'll lose if we don't figure anything out, Nurse Hagen. But your point is well taken. Dr. Van Helsing.
Yes, Doctor. How can I assist you?
You said you've encountered this virus before.
More than encountered, Doctor. I have been fighting against its spread for the majority of my life. It is the reason, well, not the whole reason, but a part of the reason that my species is as few and far between as they are. Also, Nurse Hagen, and forgive me for interrupting, Doctor. Nurse Hagen, there is no think about it. If we do not find this original vampire, your friends will, well, they will die. By their own hands or by ours. Doctor, you are going to say something.
Yes, I was going to ask about the cure, since you mentioned it requires the patient 0 vampire.
Yes.
Do we synthesize a cure from that one's blood, from their saliva?
Very astute, Doctor. Yes, the cure can be found in the helix, the DNA strands of their blood. There is a particular strand of DNA which holds the... How to put this into layman's terms? Yes? Yes? The key? That seems... I just said key. Do I have to say it again? It holds the key to the cure.
All right, so presumably this original vampire is down on Vinar.
Presumably. Although in my experience, the original vampire sometimes is... Well, that is to say... already consumed themselves.
And if they have done so, how do we acquire their blood?
He looks very grim in this moment, and his eyes glance down to the bandolier of crystalline stakes.
Good doctor, if the vampire has already gorged themselves to the point of destruction, we do not find their blood. We simply stop further spread. But don't worry, Doctor. I'm sure that we will find the original vampire. I have at least a 15.5% success rate when it comes to finding the original vampire. And we did get back to Planet Vinar very quickly, based on your departure from the planet. Also, I believe we should check on the what was his Ensign Z. Yes, that is it. We should check on Ensign Z as
I'm going to go check on him, and he's going to just exit without saying anything else and head off to the other medical bay, almost realizing that he, like, the look on maybe all the color drains from your face, Commander Ajay. Nurse Hagen doesn't look green, but looks like light green, so it goes from dark green to light green in this moment, and yeah, not looking good. But I think the captain should show up right now. I think the captain should show up. Captain Dr. Van Helsing rushes by. Oh, Doctor! I'm the doctor. You are the captain. It is good to see you. I'm going to check on the patient. Ensign Z, I believe Dr. Ajay was looking for you. And he just brushes right past you.
Cool. The captain is like strapping on like leather holsters with like the metal stakes from Blade. Yes. And he's already got a Betazoidish sword strapped to his back.
So good.
He's got a couple of he's also got a bandolier, but it's got like the UV grenades from Blade 2, like all attached. He just across his uniform, but he looks like super gung ho and ready to go. And he ducks in to the sick bay. I hear you're looking for me?
Not exactly, but I have an update for you.
Oh, excellent. I'd love to hear your report.
According to Dr. Van Helsing, if we cannot find the original vampire, by which I mean patient 0, then we're going to lose all of them.
That tracks.
Yes, Dr. Van Helsing claims he has a fantastic success rate with this of 15.5%.
Well, find me an expert who has a better success rate, and I'll follow their advice instead.
My apologies, Captain. I'm more frustrated than I thought.
No apology necessary, Doctor. I understand. We're all under a lot of stress right now, so I can imagine you most of all. So don't worry about it. But I have great faith that we'll be able to find the parent vampire.
Yes.
I already have the ship's sensors recalibrated to track
Captain,
the viral signature.
Your accoutrements. Are you intending to go with Dr. Van Helsing to the surface?
Can you think of a better use of my talents? And he brandishes the sword real quick, like spins it and then slides it back into the holster on his back.
I suppose I can't come up with an argument in this case.
Ordinarily, I'd trust those responsibilities to you, but unfortunately, your medical talents are needed here on the ship to monitor the situation and make sure that we don't lose any crew people before, we manage to track down this vampire. So I thought I would take command of the OA mission myself.
Of course, Captain. I suppose I shall simply have to trust Dr. Van Helsing to acquire the blood that we need.
Oh, no, that's not a problem. And he reaches down to this leather holster, leather bag he's got strapped to the other leg, pulls it open, and there's a Starfleet medical tricorder with a sample thing in place of the medical scanner. He's like, oh no, I've got one of these. I've actually rigged a crossbow here, and he pulls out this crossbow that springs to life, and then he just plonks it in. He's like, I can fire this, and then the tricorder is designed to transport the sample container back to the tricorder. I won't fire it here. It's not safe.
Well, thank you, Captain. I will leave it in your hands then.
Actually, one of the reasons I came down to sickbay is I actually wanted to see this plan is fairly solid, but we could actually set up a containment area where we could have samples transported straight back to the ship. But I wanted to know if that was a thing you wanted to do. I know it'll break quarantine, but I figured the timeliness of the delivery system might be useful.
I feel that I would rather have a timely delivery. Yes, Captain, please.
Alrighty. Is there a specific area? Do you want to set up? Oh, the other thing is one of the nurses has actually submitted a request to set up a quarantine sickbay in the holodeck for the use of so that the lab can be a sterile environment. Is that something you're
yes,
on board
I'll
with?
sign off on it.
Okay.
I'll sign off on it. Then I would like the transport to come to this room, and I would like at least one of my patients to remain in here. I realized that that's also breaking quarantine, but if I have someone I can take samples from as the disease progresses, I think that will also help me come up with a cure quicker.
As you like. Obviously, the medical side is your prerogative. The Dr. Van Helsing seemed to have rushed out of here fairly quickly. Is he making himself as welcome here as he has across the rest of the ship?
He is making his presence felt.
Well, the quicker we can solve this vampire dilemma, the quicker we can bid him adieu. So
kick him off this ship? Yes, I quite agree, Captain.
Excellent. It's nice to know that my second in command and I have similar sentiments.
And at the mention of similar sentiments, you guys hear from the lower, I guess the right-hand side medical bay. You hear, no, Ensign said, I am not for biting. I am friend, not food. And we're going to pivot down to Ensign Zed. Ensign Zed. And Ensign Zed, you have just been awoken. You were given a stimulant. You've just been awoken. And you are feeling a very strange kind of hunger. right now. But it's like, you know, like you get a hankering for something, but you're not quite sure what it is. You just have a hankering, and you see the good doctor before you, and as you turn towards him, you smell something that just smells terrible, absolutely terrible, and you realize it is the garlic that is hanging from his bandolier, and it's just smells like burnt baby diapers. It's horrible. It's a horrible smell. But you're able to kind of like, you know, shake it off. You can barely tolerate it. But you see
Dr. Van Helsing, I think your garlic has gone bad.
No, that is a part of the that is to say, it's you, not me. But I digress. Okay, so as I was saying though, Ensign said, do you feel a kind of a pull or a draw in any sort of particular direction right now? A certain symptom of the virus is that you are drawn to return to the source. And I'm hopeful that you can accompany us, if you are at least in mostly control of your own faculties, down to the surface and act as a kind of, what's the term? Yes? That seems very derivative. Are you sure? Really? Yes? Okay. Act as a kind of bloodhound. Blood, because of the vampires. I digress. All right. Bloodhound to lead us to the original vampire, as it were.
But are you certain that it would be safe? I am feeling some very strange sensations in my lobes that I have never experienced before. I think perhaps that I should be restrained.
Reaches out towards you, placing a hand on your shoulder. As he does so, you look at his arm, and you can see almost like these red lines of his blood, like boom, 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 boom. You can see them. You don't feel the urge to bite, but you can see. It's almost like you have like life sense on him. And he says,
Dr. Van Helsing, has anyone told you that you have a most attractive vein pattern upon your arms?
Most common compliment that I get from most of my friends. Yes, but I digress. Again, Ensign said, nothing about this is safe. But oftentimes what is necessary isn't safe. We must do this, not only for you, but all of your crew that are affected by this insidious disease. And in this moment, Ensign said, we need you. We need you to be strong, to resist these urges. I understand that it will be hard for you, but I don't want to see you succumb to it. You have a good heart. Frankenstein and I both agree on this.
Speaking of my heart,
thump, 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 thump. You can see his heart beating. Thump, thump, thump.
I think perhaps, would it be possible for you to loan me one of your stakes there? If I begin to feel inappropriate thoughts, I may be forced to impale myself immediately.
He reaches down, looking at one of the crystalline stakes on him.
I could not live with myself if I turned against my crewmates.
He draws it.
Crewmates.
With the handy on your shoulder, he pulls it back, draws it, and very swiftly places it in the palm of your hand.
I trust you to do what is necessary. Think before you act.
Yes. I will definitely think before I act. But Dr. Van Helsing, you have encountered this vampirism before, correct?
It was I am very familiar with it, Ensign said.
And
I wish that I was not, but I've been fighting against it for all of my life.
Do you have experience with, well, have there ever been any survivors? People that you have saved, brought back from this condition?
In this moment, you see him kind of like crack his head back and forth.
Right.
And he kind of like he oftentimes has this big grin on his face, this kind of Cheshire grin. He's very happy, he's very excited. And he leans in, his whiskers twitch, and he grabs both your shoulders and goes, "Of course I have. Absolutely. I have saved many. Not as many as I have lost, but many I have saved." Ensign Zed.
Yes.
Ensign Zed. I'd like you to roll me a quick check here. All right, I'd like you to roll me a quick check. It's going to be a difficulty of 3. It's going to be presence and security.
And I do have hear all, trust nothing, if that helps me.
Yes.
Through deception.
That is 100%. He's 100% deceiving you.
Would investigation help?
Absolutely. I'll allow it. For sure.
All right. So that would be presence.
Yep.
Plus
security. Yeah.
All right. Presence plus security.
Difficulty of 3.
That momentum. Use that momentum.
Oh, should I?
Oh, yeah.
Roll at least 3. I think it's worth it.
I'm okay to be deceived.
All right.
So I'll just go straight.
The dice have a story to tell. We'll see what happens. Oh! Ensign Zed? Zed. You actually gained 1 momentum. Ensign Zed, you know 100% that he is lying through his feline teeth. Completely lying.
My lobes.
But he's like gripping you, and but he's trying to make you feel better. Like he's trying to make you feel confident in this. But he's lying.
Well, at least if by some slim chance that I am saved, can something be done about my lobes? They're starting to become elongated. And
absolutely. If we reverse the advancement of the virus in you, it should revert back to its natural form. You see, the virus, it actually changes the core structure of your DNA.
And he starts to go on this like long tangent about like the medicine behind it and what it does. I think that's a great time maybe for Dr. Ajay and the captain to approach from behind and see that Ensign Zed is now awake and seems to be, seems to be, you know, at least not in the throes of the urges. That's good.
And as you enter, Zed is saying, thank you. I would like to have my lobes repaired. Although the changes to my teeth, well, I find them quite attractive. My teeth are even longer and sharper than normal.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yes, Ensign Zed, it's to help you more easily rend your prey in this form.
You are correct, Commander Ajay. But do not worry. I'm prepared to stake myself if I should begin to have murderous thoughts. Although I think perhaps I should be restrained. I can still act as a bloodhound while my hands are bound.
I'm relatively sure that restraints aren't necessary, but also, why would we use you as a bloodhound? The ship's sensors have a lock on the virus, on the viral scent, as it were.
Well, it was suggested by Dr. Van Helsing.
I'm sure there's absolutely no need for such a thing, Mr. Zed. We'll get you strapped back down and restrained so you can't do harm to yourself or others.
If I may, good doctor, while you may have a lock on the viral signature, to actually locate the original vampire would require a more subtle approach. Ensign Zed will be drawn to that vampire, and if our encounter with these vampires is similar to my previous encounters, there will be a den of them. That is to say, more than one. We must be ensured we get the correct vampire.
Are you certain? It would be safer for all concerned if I weren't strapped down in the brig. I would feel better if that were the case.
Doctor?
Yes? And both of them at the same time? Yes.
He's clearly looking at Dr. Ajay.
I don't have the experience that Dr. Van Helsing does with this virus.
And Zed's kind of making a look like he doubts that Dr. Van Helsing has experience.
If you would like, I can provide you with the schematic for my sample taker, which you could equip with a powerful anesthetic, and then if Zed started to turn rather than staking himself, I could simply anesthetize.
As you look down and see the stake in his hand.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ajay's gonna reach over and take the stake from Zed.
All right.
Unnecessary, Mr. Zed. Yes, Captain, if you will give me the schematics, I should be able to provide you with the higher dose sedative that seems to be working.
And at the mention of sedative, this is a perfect time for Lieutenant Paris to enter in full combat gear as well.
Full combat gear, but official Starfleet gear, not whatever the captain's doing.
Custom. It's custom gear. How dare you?
Custom gear.
Straight out of Blade 2. Straight out of Blade 2.
That's right.
Lieutenant Paris, is all that gear for me?
No. It's for those down there. You stay strapped there, buddy. We're gonna get the bad guy, and you'll be fine.
Mr.
Right,
Paris, are you under the misapprehension that you're coming on this away mission?
Oh, I'm coming on this away mission, sir.
As Chief Science Officer, I believe you'll be working with the doctor to ensure that the vaccine is safe for usage among the crew.
My medical expertise is not very up there. I think.
Yes, I'm trusting Dr. Ajay with the medical expertise. You're the science part. That's why I referenced your being the Chief Science Officer, Mr. Paris.
But it requires some medical knowledge to be able to, and that's not me, sir. While on the surface,
I did serve with Commander Ajay on a medical mission during my cadet cruise. I could assist with the medical side of things if Lieutenant Paris would like to go down onto the planet to use his gear upon the vampires there.
Well, I had hoped to risk as few chief officers of the ship to the den of vampires as possible. You know, since I'm classically known for risking my chief officers in dangerous situations, and spent 6 months on a penal colony because of it.
Okay, quick question: is Lieutenant Commander Krev going to show up too?
Oh hell no, Krev's busy.
Okay, good. I'm just mad. It's like, is that have been hilarious to me, or is something? No. Krev's like, no, I'm good. All right, cool.
So that's...
Yeah, Krev has no need to leave the ship. There's vampires down there. Anything to deal with that.
And he smells. There's vampires down there, and he smells like bacon. He is not going.
Unlike the rest of us, Krev is not chomping at the bit to go on this away mission.
Phrasing. There it is. All right. So good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So that's no on the mission, Captain?
Mr. Paris, I don't know if I could have been any more clear. But if you need it, I hereby order you to assist Dr. Ajay in development of the vaccine and to remain on the ship.
Yes, sir. Defeated puppy walks out the
sad phaser powering down noises. Pew, 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 pew.
Besides, those phasers would have been ineffective against the vampire threat.
These are modified to fire UV light.
Yeah, UV light is a protectant, not a weapon.
I don't want to kill everybody. That's just got blades on them. It's cool.
Wait, they've got blades on them? I want to see that part.
It's the gun from Blade 2.
With your permission, Captain, I'll go get that anesthetic for you and Mr. Zed.
Yes, computer, forward schematic Blade 3A to Commander Ajay's desk.
I can't do this right now.
And they fire anesthetizine gas if need be. And...
So good.
Well, I appreciate your ingenuity and your attention to detail.
So good. So we watch as sad Lieutenant Paris noises happen we watch as the doctor and the Dr. Van Helsing and the captain head out. Now my question, and this goes for the Ensign Zed staying with Commander Ajay to potentially help a little bit. Lieutenant Paris will also be assisting as well. My question is, who are you taking on the away mission?
Well, I assume everybody has a lower decks security person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're bringing all your lower deck security people.
Technically, mine is in the hospital because Charlie decided that she needed to get infected.
Hey, do you know what? We're bringing her as the bloodhound because we're leaving Zed behind. So we'll bring Nevek as the bloodhound now.
Really, it doesn't have to be Ensign Zed. It could be any of those affected, though the more progressed they are, the more dangerous it is for us. But, yes, with enough sedative in her, she would become like a, sedated rabid dog, as it were.
Excellent.
Not
that I'm more willing to risk a lower officer. However, I'm going to imagine that as a security officer, who is the chief security officer, she's a better choice.
All right, who is everyone else bringing along? Lieutenant Commander Krev, who do you want to bring? You're muted, my friend.
I'm trying to remember who my security officer was.
This is going to be like a classic red shirt mission.
God, I hope so.
Mine is Lieutenant Junior Grade Sosek.
Sosek? Perfect.
Sosek. I don't know if I made one.
I mean, you can run Valeth if you want.
I'm going to be bringing Lieutenant Junior Grade Angela Quinn.
Ooh, nice. There you go. Okay, save that. And then we got Angela Quinn. Ooh, there we go. Now, thing two, when you activate a crew member, remember at the end of it, you get to give them a minor advancement. Give them like a focus. You can give them like a +1 to like a thing. So every time you activate them, like in a scene, they get a minor advancement as it were. So just take note of that. So LTG. Look. Golden Paris. You have so many NPCs. Jeez.
I mean, you told us to create one for each.
I know. There's just so many of them. Holy moly's in a handbasket.
And so many of them outrank the chief of security.
Right.
Like,
well, I thought about demoting mine to like petty officer or something.
That's why I demoted mine when we were making them. I'm like, oh right, Zed's
You're right.
Ensign.
I think I will demote mine to petty officer.
like there's a lieutenant commander.
Yeah, it turns out, by the way, so I looked it up. It doesn't matter. Militarily, the role supersedes his rank. So the fact that he's chief of security allows him to give them orders. In any other scenario, they still outrank him. But as chief of security, he outranks them.
Okay.
So it isn't inconsistent.
Oh, that's so funny. Just love it so much.
All those lieutenants and lieutenant junior grades might have some resentment against the captain for putting an ensign in front of.
Maybe if they were better at their jobs, they would have been promoted. So funny.
Yeah. Well, the reason there's so many NPCs is because, well, we each made one. You made like 10 for each department.
Yeah, well, I like making NPCs. What do you want from
me? You got excited.
I got excited. That's
I'm just pointing out that's why there's so many. It's your fault.
Well, here's the thing. Bolt this. There it is. LTAG. There it is. Perfect. All right.
Are you sure this Cation security officer isn't yours?
I'm fairly sure, but I
thought it was Lieutenant Carr.
Did I make Carr?
I think you did.
Maybe I did. I made a lot of Cations.
It's unclear, but yeah, as the resident Cation officer maker.
Yeah, I'll take it, and it's Carrar's a combat medic anyways, so.
Oh, that's perfect. That is so.
Oh, and he can hate Van Helsing too.
Nice.
Everyone hates him. He's literally just trying to.
Well, the vacations really don't like him, right?
I mean,
like
no,
all the ones that
Nana
he's
was
encountered.
Nana was attracted to him. I
Yeah,
thought
very
was the
attracted.
implication.
That was the implication.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I like that.
He's
one.
the sexiest Cation that ever existed, except he's not a Cation.
There's not a Cation. Yes.
Yeah. All right, I got it.
Yeah, so I imagine there's a moment where Karar and you guys are all standing like in the transporter room, and Karar looks at the Dr. Van Helsing and he like smiles, and Karar lets out like a kind of noise, like a
his
cat
tail puffs up a little bit,
and he's like, oh dear, oh my, as it were. But we cut to a scene of the transporter room, and we watch as the away team, as it were, is transported down to the planet's surface. Now, you have pinpointed with your virus tracker that the largest grouping of vampires on the planet is, you guessed it, in the planet's capital. Yes, in the capital of the planet. And as you arrive, there is a rolling thunderstorm. Yes, dark and stormy night. Lightning flashes, very ominous, as it were. It's wonderful. I'm going to move you guys over to the exterior of an ominous, dark, cathedral-like building. Yes.
You monstrous bastard.
Yes, that is what you see before you, as it were. And the thunder crashes, rain is falling, and as you get to the planet's surface, there's that telltale kind of noise, and you all appear, and you are standing on what at one point, you actually remember this location when you met with those of Planet Vinar, species, the Vinarans, as it were. Planet Vinar, the Vinarans. Makes sense, right?
Vinarans,
It's good.
yep.
The Vinarans, as it were. No one said that we're that creative with names. But the Vinarans, this was actually a beautiful promenade. This is their like sort of like their White House, but their version of the White House. It's like where their chancellor lived, but everything about it seems to have been changed. It looks, it's the same beautiful architecture as it were, but it is now dark and ominous. There's this thunder, and rain that is falling, and it's just it's a real uncomfortable situation.
I wouldn't have imagined that the weather would change the Gothic architecture's implications so much. But
yeah, it does. It does. It absolutely
Vinari
does.
architecture really does.
Yeah, it looks a lot.
Assume a more
dreary.
foreboding.
Yeah, when it was bright and sunny, it was pretty. It was like kind of like white and glowy. It looked very nice and very like inviting for some reason. But now that it's all dark and gloomy, it just looks super Gothic, super uncomfortable. Like, oh, you know what? It is Gothic. I didn't notice with the beautiful sunlight and the birds flying around and people singing beautiful stories about how beautiful life is. But now that I look at it, kind of looks like Warhammer 40k bullshit. So that's horrible.
I'm gonna spend 2 momentum to create the advantage that I've equipped everybody with my special crossbow that has the sample taker loaded.
Yeah.
And I personally have like 3 or 4 of them on.
I love that.
So that everybody has the ability to fire a bolt.
Nice.
Done. But as you all appear, Dr. Van Helsing's ears go back. His whiskers kind of puff out. His tail gets a little poofy, and he kind of crouches low. And you see him take out the two of the stakes, and he's holding them like he's ready, like he's like a dagger fighter. And he sniffs the air. And Lieutenant Carr, you also are picking up like the smell of fresh blood, that kind of irony smell in the air, and you can hear shuffling and scraping from all around you. But you don't actually see any vampires. But as you look around, you do see a smattering of bodies all around that all look to have been exsanguinated. That's a word that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to be curious, how do you guys want to proceed?
Quinn has her tricorder out.
Yeah.
Is scanning for any movement nearby.
I like that.
Same with Karar.
I like that. That's good.
That's
good.
As the hum of the transporter fades out, the captain pulls out a trench coat and flips it on.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Being very careful to make sure that his Betazoid sword hilt still sticks out the back, so we can still get at it.
Right.
Evic's kind of swaying in place a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So, Nevik, you are feeling this insatiable pull towards the direction of the definitely not ominous Gothic architecture cathedral in front of you. Definitely doesn't feel ominous, definitely doesn't feel bad, but you're definitely feeling a pull in that direction. But as everyone is scanning, I believe it was Lieutenant Krar, you had picked up your scanner and were scanning, correct? You were picking...
Quinn.
Go ahead. Quinn?
Quinn
also.
Quinn.
I think
yes,
both.
Yeah, I was... Yeah.
Both of your tricorders pick up a life sign moving towards you. Not like rushing, but there's a bunch of life signs around you, all reading as you're picking up like the virus, like they're reading as vampires. But there is a singular vampire that appears to be approaching your group. And I want you to imagine that you guys are standing in this promenade. There's actually a walkway that goes like right in the center here, where everyone is standing, that goes down and then leads up to. It's kind of like you go down to like a little valley, and it leads up to the non-ominous vampire stronghold, as it were.
The nominous.
The nominous, yeah.
Captain, there's a life form approaching 142 Mark III.
To look,
all right, people, let's be ready.
Directly in the direction of the castle, as it were. Not the castle. It's not a castle. It's a cathedral, right? That's what. Yeah. It's totally normal looking cathedral, but you see a feminine figure making her way down the pathway. As you look at her, you notice that she has large bat-like leathery wings, and looks to like not be clothed very well, kind of like half naked, and then suddenly another life form is picked up, and walking from the left-hand side of our screen, you see another one of these moving towards you. And then on the right-hand side, you see a third one moving towards you as well. And they are just kind of like... Go ahead.
Sorry, Wolf. I was going to say something. Ever the perfect Vulcan? Captain, we seem to be surrounded.
Love that. All right. But the three of them move towards you, and they speak kind of like the Fate sisters, as it were. And so they speak, and they like complete each other's sentences. The one begins that approached from the nominous cathedral, as it were. What do we have here? I don't know, sister. Looks like we have some cattle that's lost its way. The last one. Perhaps we should herd them towards our master.
Permission to fire, Captain?
No, it sounds like we're going to be heard in the direction we want to go.
They get closer.
I am Captain Asma Traso of the USS Ragnar. We would like to see your master.
They all let out this like chittering laughter, like kind of sound, like they're like kind of noise.
Picked up at all.
I know I peeked.
Yeah,
there for
you're
a second.
clipping.
Kind of noise is what you pick up, like this like high-pitched chittering laughter, and they start to flank you in a semicircle behind you. And as they do so, you watch as one of them like steps near a body that you thought was a body, but the person like goes to lift their hand and like tries to move, and she, in a flash, like an unnatural lightning quickness, goes down and just like digs her teeth into the side of the like now likely dead person. You just see blood start to pool around it. She just starts to drain him. This like ravenous hunger.
The captain leans forward to talk to Quinn, and he's like, "You would imagine that people who use blood for sustenance would be cleaner with their feeding habits. That's a lot of wasted food."
Permission to fire now, Captain?
Again, no. Let's let them herd us towards where we would like to go. However, shing, we should be ready for betrayal at any moment.
The vampire ladies. I told you we were going camping today, guys. I'm leaning.
No, this is perfect.
I'm leaning full bore into the camp. The three sisters, as it were. Maybe wives. They're all wearing wedding rings, but I digress. All right, the three ladies begin to herd you guys in the direction of the cathedral. They occasionally get a little close. They seem like they're like smelling the air, but they're doing that like weird like undulating thing, and they're like crouching down, they're being very vampire-y in this moment, very unclothed as it were as well. But as you get to the doorway, they all like stop about 10 feet behind you, and the doors seem to open, you guessed it, of their own volition. There's like a it's probably just like automatic doors, but they open up, revealing a massive blood-soaked cathedral. There are blood splatters and bodies all over the ground, and standing all the way at the back near the front, or I guess the altar of this, is a singular figure who has a body like in his arms, and it appears to be like draining the blood of this person actively, as it were. I'm gonna go ahead and put everybody on this map here right now. And Dr. Van Helsing he has had this kind of like, it's not an arrogance, but he's had this kind of unbridled confidence. And Vinar, you would actually pick up on this first. You can tell that he's genuinely nervous and also very agitated, almost like borderline angry, like a nervous angry right now. And you can see that he has his two stakes up, like he's like ready to go in this moment. And he appears to be not muttering to himself, but he appears to be like whispering something to himself, inaudibly. He's mouthing it, but he's not saying anything. Yeah, you guys enter in, and then the chittering laughter of the three women vampires behind you, it becomes quieter and quieter, and then the doors kaboom slam shut, and then there is another glorious roll of thunder, as it were, and a crash of thunder in this moment. The rain is coming down, and it's just super ominous, and Castle Dracula, as it were. And
we appear to be locked in, Captain.
So good,
Captain. It's almost like these vampires are telepathic, that they're reading from our minds what would be exactly from an Earth-style holovid.
What? Are we? Am I learning anything from the tricorder?
What would you like to scan for? What are you trying to learn?
Just anything about their physiology that's like.
Give me a
sufficiently different from
insight and medicine. Difficulty of 3.
While he is scanning, the captain will lean forward and gingerly put his hand on Nevek's shoulder and be like, "Nevek, is this the master?"
Nevek, you don't see this horrible-looking vampire before you. What you see is the most magnificent, beautiful-looking Fabio-looking motherfucker that you've ever seen in your entire life. He is reaching out to you, open hand.
Okay.
Smut novel, like shirt open, wind in his hair. He's like reaching out to you, golden light behind him, reaching out to you, and you can hear him saying like, "Come to me, my child," like kind of thing. Like it's fucking Jesus freak. It's weird. It's weird. That's what she says.
I don't know how you guys were trying to keep Nevek in check, but she's moving towards him.
Do any of my focuses of field medicine, biogenic weapons, or fire support apply?
I'm gonna give you field medicine, but I feel bad about it.
Okay. I'm alright with you feeling bad about it.
Boom!
Grab Nevek by the arm.
That is a success. So here's what you're picking up. All of the vampires that are around and are nearby are registering as at least a percentage of being Vinarans. They're mostly registering as like the corrupted vampire, but they still have an aspect of Vinaran in them. This big old head vampire up in front of you, the tricorder doesn't know what to do with him. He's reading as a little bit of vampire. He's also reading as partially human, partially Vulcan, but he's like reading as a bunch of different things all at once, and the tricorder is struggling to pinpoint which one.
He relays that knowledge quietly to the captain.
So that's our master then.
It would appear so.
Doctor, your expert opinion?
The doctor, in this moment, shoves Nevik aside as he begins to rush forward towards the head vampire. You hear him scream,
"You son of a bitch! I will kill you for what you did to my people! You will die!" Ah!
And you see him take like a chunk of garlic and chuck it at him, and then he like is lunging forward with both stakes in his hands, like lunging towards him as the vampire very lazily looks up. And before anyone does anything, here's what happens. Dr. Van Helsing lunges. The vampire reaches out, grabs him by the neck, lifts him up, and says,
"I remember you. Remember your wife. She was delicious."
And then he chucks him against the wall, and he just goes flying, slams into the wall on the side, hitting the stonework. Bits of stone crumple, and Dr. Van Helsing drops unconscious onto the floor.
"The rest of you, I have not tasted your kind in millennia. It will be good to feast upon each of you once again."
What would you all like to do?
Nevik is gonna like pull herself off the ground from where she got shoved by Van Helsing and start like making her way towards the sky again.
Yes,
like in
my
a trance.
child.
Yep.
Come to me.
Quinn's right behind Nevik, trying to grab her arm and hold her back.
So Nevik,
all right, people.
Get yourself together, Nevik.
All right, people. Priority is to get a sample.
In one hand,
fire around me, please. And then the captain rushes forward with his sword brandished.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 threat because the captain did not come to this fight unprepared. So he's got a shot that he had that he secretly sent a command to Ajay to make in advance, which is a combination of adrenaline and a performance-enhancing drug that he just jams into his leg as he runs forward with his sword. So now I've got not advanced, but enhanced reaction time and strength at the cost of probably several years of my life.
I love that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We don't oftentimes drop into combat, right? But we're actually going to drop into combat here for like the first time I think ever in our series of this history. We're gonna do some actual combat here. Now the benefit I'm gonna give you is that you are gonna get to go twice in this round. Okay, so the way that it works is that it always starts with the players, and then it goes to the bad guy, then it goes to the players, and it goes to the bad guy, to the players, etc. And every time the bad guy goes, his difficulty increases. So the more times he acts, it gets more difficult. For you, Captain, you're going to get to act twice. Normally, everyone gets to act just one time in a round. You pick the order, right? You guys all pick the order that you want to go in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add turns for everybody. And the way that we're going to track this is when you take your turn, we're simply going to change the number from 0 to 1. And, yeah. But, let me just do this really quick. And let me do this, and okay. All right, and do this. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and add Death Not Dracula to the turn order as well. All right, definitely not Dracula.
What about the 3 brides?
The 3 brides. You know what?
Oh, they're outside?
Yeah, they're outside. They were set pieces. Don't worry about it. It's fine. we're all good, at least for now, until I feel like I want to bring them in. All right, so yeah, Dr. Van Helsing is currently unconscious on the ground. And we're going to start with you guys. How would you like to proceed?
All right. So the orders were to get samples, correct?
That is correct. He does the like classic like cape out, goes like hisses at you guys, and looks all like Dracula-esque in this moment. It's like hiss, and you're fighting a vampire. So there you go. How would you guys like to proceed?
Well, we were obviously ordered to provide suppressing fire, so...
Yeah.
Suppressing fire!
Yes. Quinn will be on the other side. You know.
All right, so who wants to go first and offer suppressing fire?
I will offer my suppressing fire first, I suppose.
All right, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to do this in a way. So hitting definitely not Dracula. Hitting definitely not Dracula is not an easy task. Normally, like in melee or like a sort of combat, it's just difficulty 2 to hit. He starts off as a difficulty 5 to hit because, you know, this guy's lived for a very long time. He's really good at fighting, and he's not easy to hit. Every suppressing fire that you guys succeed, which your difficulty is only a 2 to suppress, is going to lower the difficulty, because I believe you're all doing this to help the captain out. It's going to lower the difficulty of the captain to hit him by 1. All right? So that's the way we're going to do this. So go ahead, Captain Traso. You're going to say something?
No. I'm just excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super fun. We're just going to run with it. We're going to see what happens. And I don't have any good battle music right now, but just imagine that it's like I don't know. It's friggin', you know, what is it? The Castle Dracula. What's the video game? Castlevania sounds. Slowly, that's what's playing right now.
Man with a miserable pile of secrets.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so we're gonna start off with who wants to do the first suppressing fire? Go ahead.
I'll do it.
All right, perfect. So you're gonna roll us a fitness security. Is how you do this. Fitness security.
Fitness phaser up Dracula's ass.
Love that. You're looking for a difficulty 2 check.
And just for the fun of it, we're all equipped with the phasers, the Pyrus special phaser.
Absolutely, love that.
They're pulsing. They're shooting light, sunlight.
I have slain 1,000 of your kind before. You will not be the end of me.
Yes. Definitely not Dracula. Oh, there it is. Boom. There it is. Let's go. All right, so I'm going to mark this on him. This is the difficulty is marked by the little symbol in his upper right-hand corner. He's currently at difficulty 4 to hit. All right, now it is the bad guy's turn. All right, now it is the bad guy's turn.
Oh, okay. Did Quinn do some distracting fire too? It's alternate.
So the way that it works is it goes, you guys always go first, then it goes to bad guys. You guys go first, it goes to bad guys. Gotcha. He is actually going to rush forward and is going to envelop in his cape. He's going to envelop Nevik. And he does this like embrace on her. Nevik, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to roll a presence and security difficulty of 3. This is to see whether or not you turn into his ally or maintain your status as kind of Nevik. Did I lose you, Ajay? You're muted.
Oh, you just muted.
Sorry, there it is. Okay. Yeah. I assume Nevik's just still trying to get there, right?
Yeah. So he rushes forward, embraces her. He's basically like giving you like the embrace kiss. He's like trying to turn you into a full vampire. Mm-hmm. So Nevik, you're gonna roll us a presence and security. This is you to resist the mental urges to kill your friends.
Presence, security.
What are her focuses?
Nothing helpful.
Oh, that's a difficulty. Difficulty of 3 on this one. You can always give me threat. I have so much threat right now. It's beautiful.
If I give you 1 threat, I can roll 3 dice, right?
You're gosh darn tootin'.
Yeah, I don't have. She doesn't have any focuses that'll help. So I'm gonna give you a threat.
I will take that threat. Pocket it for a later time. Oh no!
Do you have any talents?
No, I've never used this character before.
That's fair.
All right. So we watch as his cape envelops her. It ricochets out. And in her place, Nevik.
R.I.P. Side character.
Nevik. You are replaced with a bride. As a bride of Dracula, my friend.
Yep.
Of not Dracula.
Yeah, definitely of not Dracula. Excuse me, definitely not Dracula, as it were.
Definitely not Dracula, definitely not Alucard, etc.
So Nevik is now wearing that getup.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Her clothes just fall off.
Her clothes just fall off. That's exactly correct.
I mean, giant wings burst out. I mean, it rips everything.
Definitely
Makes
not Dracula
sense.
goes, my beautiful bride. Hilda. So, definitely not Nevik anymore.
Yeah.
You are going to be acting as an enemy. So you'll be going next afterwards, but it's not your turn yet. That's good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Shouldn't Lieutenant Carr have his?
Yeah. So next up is going to be who else wants to go? So let's see here. So Captain has not gone yet.
Should we do Quinn to get
Sozak, Quinn, or yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
So yeah, Quinn's gonna say, "Let her go," and fire the phaser right at the
that.
sky.
Fitness security difficulty 2.
All right. If she like steps way closer to him, to like in a dangerous way, can it be daring?
Yeah, I love daring. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it should be daring security. I'm sorry, I totally did that wrong. It should be daring security for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Daring, and she has phasers also.
That's perfect. You have a focus. Difficulty 2.
All right.
I love this. I absolutely love this. I hope this is campy enough for you guys. I was trying to lean in.
Oh no, it's great.
All
yes.
Right. Oh, Andrew getting momentum. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. As the difficulty to hit him goes down, I'm actually going to spend 6 threat. Don't worry about it. It's probably fine. As not 1. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. As duplicates of you appear on the screen. That's good.
Oh
no!
Whoa.
As crashing through the 3 windows at the back, you guessed it. His additional brides have entered the combat. His additional brides have entered the combat, so they will all get turns as well. I'm gonna go ahead and add them in as it goes. So it's kind of a good and a bad thing for you guys, because now Dracula's not just gonna go one after another, which is probably a good thing. Definitely not Dracula. Excuse me, just generic vampire A. Yeah. It's good. But yeah, all right, cool. So now the enemies get to activate, and you know what? I think it would make sense for definitely kind of sort of still Nevik. We're not sure. You are picking up on the tricorder that there is still human DNA in her, so she's not completely lost, probably.
Is she Vulcan? Nevik Vulcan?
No.
She's Trill.
That's what I said. I said Trill. You're picking up Trill DNA, which is good. Yeah. So go ahead. Who would you like to attack?
Quinn is
I guess.
nearest.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Quinn's nearest. I'll attack Quinn. Sorry.
Quinn. All right. Well, Quinn. Sucks to suck. So here's the thing. You are going to be rolling a daring security as Nevik. All right, daring security as Nevik. I'm just going to move this little thing off because we can all imagine in our head. I'm going to put little bat wings on you. There you go. You got little bat wings to represent that you're a vampire now. But the only difference is you have a focus on this attack.
I mean, I think I would anyways, because she has a focus in hand-to-hand normally.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 threat to have you roll 3 d20.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're so not sorry.
I am.
I'm sorry.
So daring security.
Yep. As you lunge forward.
3d20 and focus. Sorry.
Yikes. Alright, I'm going to gain 1 threat. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Beautiful. I love that so much. It's fantastic.
It's what these security people are
if this
for.
Is a melee, if this is a melee attack, by the way, you get to. It's contested. So Quinn would actually roll contested.
Fitness
security.
Fitness security. And if you roll higher, then
yeah, you actually. So whoever, it's a matter of who gets higher, who gets more successes.
Correct.
Okay. And Quinn also has hand-to-hand combat.
Perfect.
As
You
a
have a
focus.
So focus.
You get a focus.
There you go.
Lunges
Feel
forward.
free to spend our momentum.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna spend. You gave me so much time. I'm gonna spend 3 threat to increase your complication range to an 18 to 20.
All right. Let's see. So that was fitness security?
You got it.
Yep.
Difficulty of.
And you can roll 3 dice.
You have to roll at least. It's meet or beat, right? You have to meet it. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think defender wins on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
hand-to-hand.
defender wins on ties.
So get 3. Just get 3.
See what happens.
Oh, any complications? Oh,
Yes.
a complication. All right. Good news, bad news.
This is perfectly fine.
Good news, bad news. All right,
Yeah.
so this is perfectly fine. All right, so bad news. Here's the bad news. Here's the bad news. She hits. Here's the good news for me. She hits with a bite attack, which is not good. All right, bite attack. So she lunges forward, driving her fangs into his neck. Her neck, excuse me. Blood starts to pour out as she starts to ensanguinate you. And yeah, you're gonna take 8 challenge dice worth of damage. So let's see what happens. Go ahead and roll me 8 challenge dice.
Hey, so,
Vampire Nevik.
and so, yes.
This could have been more perfect if I rolled the dice myself. This is so wonderful. I'm having so much fun. You guys are awesome. Castlevania noises. What a ridiculous situation.
Mimi, are you rolling the challenge dice?
Yeah, Mimi, you roll the challenge dice? I can roll them for you. Here, I'll roll them.
Yeah, I think you.
8. 8.
Sorry.
No, this is good.
I'm pretty sure that knocks you unconscious.
This is good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
So you watch as she like a cat pouncing on a mouse, just lunges, and she just tumbles back, and she just digs her teeth. Now I have a very important roll that I need you to make. I need you to roll a presence medicine.
Which one of us?
No, hold on. Presence wait a minute. What did I have you roll? Presence.
I think it's presence security.
Presence security. Presence security. Difficulty of 2 on this one. Only difficulty of 2. This is to see if you turn into a vampire.
Win.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that is the more interesting choice. So I will not use any momentum.
I love
That's good.
this
We don't have any.
so
Yeah.
much.
Oh yeah. Oh good.
I love
All right.
this so much.
So
happy.
presence medicine.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's correct.
No, security.
Oh,
It was
presence
presence security.
Presence security. That's right.
presence security.
This is insane.
All
I'm having
right.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh no!
So she drives her fangs into her neck,
Yeah.
but releases instantaneously as, you guessed it, all of your clothes fall off, and you turn into a vampire bride as well. Which is beautiful. Yeah, so you will be acting as an enemy, but you've already gone this round, which is good.
Sure.
So
yes,
everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's probably fine. But yeah, it is now the good guys' turn. Who would like to go now?
So the captain. So as Quinn drops to a knee, the captain is gonna like run up, step on the knee to leap over Nevik with the sword up in the air and that classic blade like tuck and roll. So he's just gonna spin over and then come down with a slash onto Dracula, or at least that's what it looks like he's doing. But at the last second, the sword drops away and he fires his crossbow with the sample taker.
I love that. You're just gonna go for it. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Absolutely love that. All right. So just a quick thing. You guys can actually spend momentum or pay me threat to act out of order. So if the good Lieutenant Junior Grade Sosek would like to go prior, you can, I believe it's 2 threat or momentum to act out of turn. You could go right before the captain does and try to lower the difficulty for him a little bit more. But it's entirely up to you guys.
Should I?
Sosek, well,
Give me threat.
Give
me threat.
I don't give him threat. Look at how he's
I
chanting.
still have 11, so it's not like I need it.
You know what? Sure.
Yes! I'm going to spend that threat right away to increase the
God.
complication of the captain's check by 1.
Time,
daring security to shoot and try to distract Dracula.
So this is where Vulcan says no. I've been aiming at the not Dracula since the beginning of the fight. Thus,
Nice,
I don't
excellent, yep.
dare I control.
All right. Done.
Just yeah, and I do have hand phasers, so yeah, security 220. Yes. There.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It is only a difficulty 2, daring security for the captain to fire his crossbow thing into Dracula. Take it away, Captain.
Oh boy. So I immediately spend my determination. And because we've all cooperated, a captain is only as good as the crew he leads. I tap that value to spend my determination. So I'll spend that for 2 automatic successes. And then I'm going to further push that theme to try and use team dynamics as a focus.
Love that.
So that this way it is a daring, because my daring security is not good.
Love it.
And I'll give you a threat to roll a 3rd dice.
Love it. Go for it. I mean, you're already succeeding because if you spent the determination.
Yeah, but this is opposed because theoretically it's a melee.
That is
so
true.
I need all the successes I can get here.
That is true.
And I do have an inflictable focus. Not that it matters. Only broadens my. Hey, it's 5 successes.
5. All right. I'm gonna have Dracula roll 4d20. All right. His target number for this is pretty high. It's a 14. He got 4, which is not enough, and
not enough.
None of those were crits. None of those were crits, because he doesn't have... Well, he did have a focus, but it was only a 4. So we watch as you fire the crossbow weird tricorder thing into him. It strikes him right in his heart, and you see it draw out a bit of blood from it, right?
Yeah.
And he looks down at it as he goes to grab it, and then it transports, appearing in the medical bay with a very hungry Ensign Zed, a very hungry Paris for science, and a very hungry for putting that stupid Van Helsing in his place, Commander Ajay, right? The vampire, definitely not Dracula, looks down and says, "Your pitiful weapons have no effect on good." And we watch as appearing behind him, not appearing, but he's like crawled over there, drives a dagger, a stake through the back of his heart, like right through it, and it appears out his front. And you see him grab his like neck and pull him back. And Dr. Van Helsing says, "This is for my family, you son of a bitch." And then he like shoves it forward, and Dracula's like, "Blah!" And blood just starts to pool out of his mouth. And, just, and Van Helsing gets thrown back, and the Captain Treso gets thrown back, and everything starts to get kind of crazy. And all the vampires outside and inside all start to freak out. And they're like, "Ah, definitely not Dracula, definitely not Dracula, no, no!" And they're just screaming and crying tears of blood. And then the emergency protocol goes off, and everyone gets transported back to the ship. Those affected by vampirism, you know, the transporter buffers pick it up and put them in quarantine. And we're going to arrive back. We're going to arrive back in the medical bay. The medical bay. What a fight, by the way, gentlemen and ladies, I should say. That was absolutely incredible. That was absolutely incredible. I can't believe that went as well as it did. I was pretty sure everyone was going to die. When Vinar turned, I was like, oh, that's not good. But we appear back in the medical bay. You have the sample. You have the sample. Captain's there. He's there. Dr. Van Helsing, as he reappears in the medical bay, slumps in the corner, looking at the dagger that is still covered in a bit of gory, not the dagger, but the stake and a little bit of gory flesh. And he looks at it and he says, "Finally, I have avenged you." Kind of drops it to the ground and just like leans forward, putting his face into his paws, as it were.
Karar will go over to him and begin administering first aid.
Very nice of Karar.
Well, he's a combat medic. It's what he does.
Yeah. He's got some broken bones and a lot of bruising, but he seems like he's gonna make it. He seems like he's gonna make it. I also just want to say, Inos, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having fun with our campy adventure. We're having a good time. Definitely not Dracula. Definitely didn't just kill Dracula, because that'd be weird.
Yep.
All right, that's silly. I'm done. All right, anyway, I appreciate you. All right, so as we're watching this, I'll go on. Blame Chewbacca for everything. I absolutely do. Yeah. What do you guys do? What do you guys want to do?
Well, Ajay wouldn't be in this room. She'd be in the other room where she had the quarantine and the synthesizer set up. So she's busy working.
Done.
The captain just spins his sword, slides it back in the sheath, and says, "I'll be on the bridge."
So badass. You hear one of the nurses look over and be like, "He's so good. He's gonna save the Marvel Cinematic Universe." It's like they two did. Love it. All right, that's we're getting real referencey.
I think we see Zed's strapped onto a bio-bed.
Yeah.
But I guess he's starting to feel better. Is everyone? Or does no?
Quite.
They need to steer him
You're not
first.
feeling
Not the
better
death
at
thing.
all.
Yeah. So he's probably in the throes of.
Yeah. He's starting to go
looking
full
very,
feral.
Yeah. Looking like Nosferatu.
But Commander Ajay, you are going to make a very important check. I was going to make this an extended task, but I think I just want to keep it kind of simple here. I want to keep it kind of simple. I'm just going to have you roll a reason medicine. It's only going to be a difficulty of 3. You very quickly identify that this is indeed patient 0. What's interesting is that patient 0 does not register as any sort of known species, but it has elements of every kind of species that you know. It has like Vulcan DNA. It has almost as though like as it feasted on others, it incorporated that DNA into its own being. And it takes you some time, but eventually you find the original DNA, like the original like carrier from it. And you quickly, with the help of the ship's computer, are able to come up with a theory about how to reverse engineer it so that instead of consuming and adding, it expunges the corruption, as it were. And I'm using very layman terms because I'm not a doctor, so I don't fucking know what this means. Anyway, we're going with it, all right? So what you're going to do is you're going to roll a reason medicine, difficulty of 3, and you definitely have a focus to synthesize the antidote, as it were.
I mean, if nothing else, I have xenobiology and genetics.
And Lieutenant Paris can help. Yeah. And
with improvisation,
even Karev can help by doing a presence command. I'm gonna say he's just like hissing, and it's encouraging you guys to work faster.
Is it?
It is.
Krev or Krar?
Zed. I'm sorry, Zed. Zed can help. Zed, because he's hissing and turning into a vampire. So he's just like, let me feast upon you.
I wish to acquire your blood.
Beautiful. Paris helps. You've got 1 success.
I am going to regret this, but I'm going to give you a threat so I can roll 3.
I'm just going to pocket it. I've already spent enough threat today.
Yeah.
Best. I mean, what?
Boom ski.
Good thing I spent it.
Boom ski. That is a success. So, not to be anticlimactic, but you, being the better of the doctors, are very quickly able to synthesize an antidote. Dr. Van Helsing is of no help, as he is just crying in a corner.
He's a patient in a different part of the infirmary where I don't have to deal with him.
Bingo, bango. But you are able to synthesize. It takes time. But as we do kind of a cut scene of like a day later, and all of those that were infected are like recovering. They still have slightly pointed ears, slightly elongated, but everything is reverting back to normal, and they're no longer like hungering for the blood of their friends. We see all of them in the holodeck, in the like quarantined holodeck, and we see that you're like in the middle of like administering one of the doses, because it like takes time. It's like 2 or 3 different doses they have to get, and it slowly helps them revert back. But we're going to use a little bit of theater of the mind. But I would like our final scene of today's episode to be the good Dr. Van Helsing approaching Dr. Commander First Officer Ajay, as it were. And you hear him kind of clear his throat.
Dr. Ajay, the moment of your time.
Of course, Dr. Van Helsing.
I just wanted to say, your knowledge of medicine is incredibly impressive. And it was an honor to witness your work.
I understand that you were pivotal to the mission's success as well, Dr. Van Helsing.
Like grits his teeth a little bit at that statement. He says,
I have worked alone for many years. But after witnessing the camaraderie of this crew, the love that each of you have for one another, I think it is time that I seek out and find a crew of my own. That is a gift that I will never be able to truly repay.
Repay, not repay, repay.
Then I wish you luck, Doctor.
And the same to you, Dr. Ajay. Be well. What's that? No, I'm not going to apologize. I just did. I said that she was great at her job, which she is. Sorry, I have to go argue with Frankenstein. And then he's going to turn and walk away, and he has that same kind of like
safe travels,
almost arrogant looking walk. And then as that happens, see you turn back, keep working with one of your patients, roll credits. Done. There you go. That's the end. Great job, everybody.
Well, Ajay really quietly, after saying safe travels, very quietly when he's gone, far away from here.
Love that. That'll be the last line. Far away from here. Love that. But absolutely fantastic job tonight, everybody. I hope that we were talking about this before we started today's session. We really want to play into the campiness. I've been watching some TOS lately, and I just want to go full camp. Like silly, over the top. We've had 2 pretty serious seasons, and I'm just really leaning into the campiness of this right now. And I just want to say everyone did a fantastic job. The question that I always ask, just want to make sure, did everybody have a good time? That's the only thing that matters to me. Everybody had a good time? All right, hell yeah.
Absolutely.
That was super sweet. Captain Trace O'Brien, you fucking man. Just leaning full bore into Blade. So good, man. That was so good. That was perfect. Absolutely perfect. But everyone did wonderful. Just want to say thank you. And I really appreciate you guys leaning into it and having fun. But as I always say at the end of every session, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we wrap up today's episode?
Not me.
Good game, guys.
Wow.
Seriously. On the mission next time.
Lots of fun.
Be safe, Charles. That's the last.
Yes.
Be safe, Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sarah. And Sarah. Also be
safe. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, as I always say at the end of every episode, thank you so much to the players for playing. Without you guys, this is literally impossible. So you have my eternal gratitude for going on this crazy adventure with me. Thank you so much to the viewers for viewing. We had a couple new follows and some new folks in the chat here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you had fun along with us. We're always having a good time. Happy gaming, everybody. We will catch you guys same game time, same game place next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. for Season 3, Episode 3 of Star Trek Valhalla. We'll catch you then. Be well, be safe, and talk to you soon. Cheers.